The Dark Waters channel is for entertainment purposes only. Although information in these stories can be traced back to relevant and true sources, Dark Waters strongly discourages its viewers, listeners, and subscribers from visiting the site of incidents and encounters discussed or revealed on the show. In other words, we will not be held responsible if you are attacked by a dogman, molested by a bigfoot, bitten by vampires, chased by chupacabras, abducted by aliens, accosted by the men in black, investigated or arrested by the local law enforcement, CIA, FBI, NSA, EPA, BLM, or another alphabet group, whether on U.S. soil or abroad. Thank you for tuning in, and enjoy the show.
Dogwaters family, what would be the end of Dogman weekend without you going out and purchasing your Dogman shirt? Right now you can get your Calm Down It's Just Dogman t-shirt. It's only $26 and that includes shipping and handling. And more importantly, by you purchasing your t-shirt today, you're supporting the Dogwaters channel and helping me move forward and take this to the next level. So no need to dilly-dally and delay. Go ahead and purchase your Keep Calm It's Dogman t-shirt today while supplies last. Click the link below in the description and it'll take you to the Facebook page where the shirts are for sale. So I started having encounters with what you call Dogman long before I ever knew what it was. I can remember at the age of 7, my dad gave me this little toy box. You know, the kind that has the ballerina on top of it? It used to spin and play music. Well, at night after dinner, I would play that box and place it on the windowsill in my bedroom. That was my way of going to sleep. I did this every night until one night I heard this faint smudging sound on the window. You know how it sounds when someone rubs their skin on glass? That was it. Now my bed was positioned directly under the window, and this sound kept getting louder and louder until finally the music stopped. And laying there looking up at the window from my bed, I could see that it started fogging over like someone or something was breathing hot air on the glass. Now I didn't see anything that night, but I was so scared, I jumped up, ran in my parents' room, and hid under the covers. For the next few nights, things were quiet. I would play my music box at night, and nothing would happen. Then I had a sleepover. It was nothing special. It was just a Saturday night. My mom allowed me to have 3 of my best girlfriends over. And we stayed up late, real late. I remember it being like 2:30 when my eyes started getting heavy and I started to fall asleep. 2 of us were in the bed, and the other 2 on the floor in sleeping bags, when we heard this loud bang on the window. And at first I thought I was dreaming. Then I saw the look on Carol's face, the girl who was in the bed with me. She looked terrified. Even though I had been hearing noises outside of my window, I never had the courage to actually look. But in my mind, I figured if I was going to do it any night, tonight was going to be the night. I had my friends over, and at least we were all together. Carol and I looked at each other. Then we both popped up quickly on our knees, turned around, and slowly started peeking over the headboard out of the window. And what we saw was so horrific that we both still traumatized to this day. Carol began to hyperventilate as words tried to come out of her mouth, and right there on the other side of this window was a dog head. This thing was showing us its teeth, and the skin on its snout was real wrinkly. What I remember the most was this yellowish, greenish kind of smudge or plaque that was all over the top of his teeth, and its gums had these spots of like red and black on it. I also remember it had this scar on its face, like something had scratched it deep into its flesh, and the wounds had just started healing over, leaving scars that were lighter than the rest of its skin. And as for the eyes, those eyes will forever be sketched in my memory. Those were the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life. And over the years, I tried my best to find something that would describe them. These piercing yellow eyes with these black pupils. But the pupils weren't the same on both eyes. One was rounded, the other one was more like a slit or an oval. Over the years, I've searched the internet looking for something similar to this, and the closest imitation was Michael Jackson's eyes at the end of the Thriller video. You know, when he turned around and they were yellow, except for one of the pupils was a full circle. But back to the story. So both Carol and I are looking at this creature. She's hyperventilating, trying to scream, and I'm just speechless. It wasn't until Daisy, one of the girls laying on the floor, stood up and looked out the window that someone finally was able to scream. And oh my God, did she scream. As she screamed, this creature's ears dropped, and his eyes cut in the direction looking directly at Daisy, which only made her scream louder. Then we all started screaming at the same time. But this thing never moved. Its eyes just darted back and forth looking at all of us. I don't know how much time passed, but then suddenly the light came on in the room, and it was my dad. I turned away from the window, and I can remember seeing him. Then it all gets a little foggy. But I bumped into Daisy, and I saw Carol and Tammy blowing past my dad leaving the room. Next, I heard the window breaking, and the look on my dad's face was one of complete fear. I just remember him tossing me out of the room and sliding across the floor in our den. Somehow, Daisy was right there with me. Then he slammed the door to the room. And I know he had to go get his gun, but I really don't remember where he got it from. And then next, all I heard was gunfire to open the door to the bedroom. Then my mother was there, taking all us girls to the garage, putting us in a car, and we were pulling out away from the house. Now listen, I'm still not sure if what I saw between moving from the den to the garage was real, but I got a glimpse of this thing. Its head and arm was inside of the window, and Dad was shooting at it. Mom drove us a few miles away to Daisy's parents' house, and I can remember Daisy's dad grabbing his gun and leaving, but I don't remember much after that but falling asleep. The following morning, my dad and Daisy's dad were there. They both looked like they had been through hell. And our parents were talking in these hushed tones, trying not to let Daisy and I hear anything, but I kept hearing them say, it would not die. We shot it so many times, but it wouldn't die. As for my dad, he was never the same after that. He quit his job, and we moved out of that town into a nearby city. And even then, we always had bars on our windows. And as for my mom, to this day, she tells me she never saw what it was. But she knew based on my dad's reaction that we all needed to leave the house because he was about to kill something or somebody. Over the years, I had to have a lot of psychiatric help to deal with this. And finally, I came to terms with it. I haven't shared this story with anyone outside of my psychiatrist. But when I heard you talking about Dogman on Darkness Radio, I decided to reach out to you and share this story with you. I don't know if anything can be gleaned from this story or if there's any lessons that can be learned, but I do know one thing. That was the most frightening thing that ever happened to me.